and welcome everyone to another episode of the podcast, Confessions of a Nerdy Bible College Student. I'm your host, Luc Reed, and back from the Big Apple, after a well-deserved break from school, my usual co-host, Gwen Smith.
I'm back!
Alright, so confession time. This week we weren't even sure if we were going to have an episode. The end of the semester is coming up, which makes things start to get a little tighter as due dates are coming up and people are trying to figure out what they're doing next semester. However, we did decide to go forward with tonight's show, but it's going to be a little less structured than usual. But we do have a guest. He just recently discovered for himself over the break that he is actually a nerd, which is funny because we all knew it before he did. Our friend Caleb Lane.
Hey everyone, it's great to be here.
Alright, so, Caleb, dear friend, is it true that you just found out that you were a nerd?
Well, over the weekend, yeah. One of my friends said that the first impression of me, based on my comments in class, was like, that guy must just be a nerd. I found that out through Facebook and was rather in shock. I guess, from what others have said, it should have been blatantly obvious, but yeah, I just found out that I held the title of a nerd.
Oh, interesting. So I suppose we should continue on with the other questions that we normally ask our guests. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Kingston, New Brunswick. It's about a half hour away from the school. It's in the sticks. It's in the country. So not a lot of buildings or civilization, just trees, and it's not really a village. It's just scattered housing.
So kind of like our friends up in Perth Andover.
I've never been there, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Take our word for it.
Yeah.
And when did you become a Christian?
I became a Christian. It was October 9th at 12, around midnight this year. I realized, I thought I was a Christian for years, but I realized all I did was say a prayer, but I wasn't living like a Christian. I was what some would call a false convert, and after being pointed to some scripture and having a conversation with a well-known pastor, some might know him, Paul Washer, I realized I wasn't actually saved. So I converted that night.
Nice.
Excellent.
And why did you decide to come to Kingswood?
Well, like I said, I thought I was a Christian for a long time. I tried other things before. People were always directing me to Kingswood because I always did have a knowledge of Scripture and knowledge of Christ. I didn't know him, but I knew a lot about it. And it seemed to be where my niche was. So after a failed attempt at another school, I figured it was time to do what I'm best at. So I decided to come here, and it just made sense.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Alright, so now that we know a little bit more about you, Caleb, we've got our weekly question. What have you been doing that's nerdy this week?
This week, what have I been doing that's nerdy? Well, over the weekend, I worked, let's see. I did a bit of, I'm not sure if firearms are nerdy, but I did a bit of browsing with guns. I'm a gun person.
Yeah, that would be considered nerdy.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, I really didn't do much this weekend, but I did look at some anime, like Ruby and some other things like that, and that's really it. I didn't do a lot of nerdy things this week. I did start to download some video games on my PC, so I guess that counts. I've also
Steam
rearranged...
sales?
Nah, I don't have Steam.
Why don't you have Steam?
Because I'm a noob. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm new to this.
Yeah.
I guess. But I rearranged my sword collection. I guess that counts.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah.
That counts. Yeah. What games did you download then?
What games did I download? I downloaded Telltale's The Walking Dead, Slender, The 8 Pages, The Arrival, a bit of horror games, stuff like that. Some extra DLCs for Xbox.
Okay.
Kind of stuff.
So how do you download them without Steam? What do you use?
I usually I look to see if I can find a downloadable program for for free. Slender was free, and The Arrival was at a decent price. I usually wait till the games go lower in price. I either get the physical copy, or if it's not available, I download it through Microsoft using paid cards and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Interesting, yeah. All right, Gwen.
Whew.
Oh, boy.
I've done a lot. My head's been in Star Wars as usual. I've been slowly introducing my boyfriend Caleb. Yeah. My Caleb, not this Caleb. Different Caleb.
Different Caleb.
Different Caleb.
Completely different Caleb.
Completely different Caleb. I've been slowly introducing him to Star Wars. I made him watch Return of the Jedi and The Phantom Menace over the break. That's been an experience in of itself.
Oh boy. What were his thoughts? I'm curious.
Let's see here. He is quite disturbed of the incest between Luke and Leia because he didn't know that they're siblings before.
Yeah.
So that disturbs him.
Yeah.
Jar Jar Binks is a nutcase.
Yeah. That's agreeable.
Emperor Palpatine is still great. He's been running around screaming Emperor Palpatine quotes all week.
Oh boy. That makes sense.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I was actually wondering what he thought about the political system in Star Wars.
He's actually found some comparisons for the political system. I can't remember what they were for the life of me. I do listen to him, I swear.
Yeah.
I just can't remember.
Yeah.
But there are actually some real political systems that could be compared to the Galactic Senate.
Interesting. Very interesting.
What else? I've also gotten back into doing some drawing. I used to do a lot of drawing before I came to Kingswood, and I've finally gotten back into it, which is nice. So I've been making up characters and doing some drawing and stuff.
Excellent. Have you watched any of the new season of RWBY?
Oh, I have.
Oh, okay.
I'm on episode. I just watched episode 4 on Sunday, which was really good. It was good. It was. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually haven't watched any of it yet.
Oh, what's wrong with you? I mean,
so busy.
Well, that, and I suppose is a good thing because the episodes are so short.
Yeah.
It's good to wait until they're all out.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you can
binged.
Yeah.
I binged like the first probably 2 seasons, and then most of season 3, and I got caught up, and then just watched the last probably 3 episodes with friends. So, yeah. I probably will end up waiting. I have, let's see, I got a new mouse, which changes color, and it's lots and lots of fun.
That's nice.
You guys can't see it, but it's really fancy.
It's so fancy.
It's very glowy.
Yeah,
it's very glowy. You guys can't tell, but it's very glowy. It's very fancy. Be jealous. Be very jelly.
Yeah. I got it from Cole, which he just got a new PC, so that's why he gave me the mouse, because he got an Alienware PC. Yeah,
fancy.
Real fancy. And he needed a new keyboard, so he got a keyboard, but the keyboard came with the mouse, and he already had a mouse, so he ended up giving me the mouse. So
now you have a fancy mouse that glows rainbow colors.
Yes.
So fancy.
The best kind.
Yep.
It's my precious.
So precious.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Don't be surprised if the mouse is gone by the end of the episode.
It's my mouse.
Nah.
I've also been watching some movies and TV shows. I actually last night just watched. No, it wasn't last night. It was the other night. Over the weekend, something like that. I watched the latest episode of Star Wars Rebels, because that's the show that I keep up with each week, because I like it.
I need to catch up with that.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Really enjoying it. Yeah, and just some movies that I guess would be considered nerdy. I watched The Legend of Tarzan.
Oh, the new live
one?
action?
Yeah, the live action one. That I thought was really brilliant. Just the story structure and everything.
Oh, yeah, it looks
really,
great.
really good. Yeah, it was. I watched Kingsman,
Oof.
Oh,
which,
that's a great one.
Yeah,
we were
that
just
was a
talking
great
about
movie.
that today.
Yeah, we were.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was good.
Man, my favorite thing's the umbrella.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think everyone needs one of the umbrellas.
Bulletproof umbrella gun.
Yeah. And the suit. The suit was bulletproof, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going suit shopping tomorrow. I'm going to pick myself up one of those.
Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was really good. And then I was actually planning later tonight, to watch 2001 Space Odyssey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the one with HAL 9000 and everything. Yeah. I've seen a lot of things that make reference to that, and I've never actually watched it myself, so
Yeah.
I
haven't seen it in a while, but from what I remember...
Oh, you've actually seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely something I want to check out, so... Because I love watching movies. All right. So, now we've got a new segment that we're adding to the show this week. We're going to talk about how God has been blessing us this week, or any prayer requests that we might be having. If you're listening in and hear anything that burdens your heart, please feel free to be praying for us as well. So, Caleb, anything?
God's really been... I guess he's really been, since I got saved this past October, he's really been chiseling away at me, kind of revealing some things in my life that I have to really put down, that I have to pray about, that I have to, I have to focus more on Scripture, because when you're at a Bible school, you have so many assignments that involve that book, and it becomes a textbook, which is something that I felt I've been guilty of, so... I have to start reading Scripture more, and I found that's the best way to learn more about my faith and become more grounded in it. So, God's revealing that to me, that I have to spend more time in His Word and less time doing worldly things.
Excellent, excellent. Gwen?
Well, I'm thankful that God was able to bring me home safely.
Yeah.
From New York with all the snow and stuff that we've been having.
Yeah, I've heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of snow in New York. So I'm thankful of that. I'm also having the same struggle that Caleb's having with the Bible becoming a textbook, and I think a lot of people are having that same struggle. We were just talking about that last night, I think, Caleb and I. That it's really hard to devotionally be in the Bible when you're trying to do a lot of assignments from the Bible.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, for me, I think what God's been doing for me is He's been closing a lot of doors, because it's potentially my last semester here at the school, which means we'll probably only have a few more episodes of the podcast together. I plan to potentially continue it beyond just here, but I might actually end up being here next semester as well, just because I'm for the last semester at Kingswood, you've got to do an internship at a church in every degree program except for theology. And I'm really, really struggling to find a place to do my internship. I've applied to 2 churches, and I've emailed a whole bunch of pastors. A list of pastors that was given to me by one of the professors here. Gave me a list of pastors that he thought might be interested, and most of them have said no, or they need an intern at another time, or they've got too many interns or something like that. So God's been closing a lot of those doors, so I'm just trying to figure out where it is God's leading me, because I'm very open to His will, and I want His will to be done, but I can't see what it is that He wants me to do. I'm doing everything that I can and working really hard, trying really hard, and I'm not seeing where He wants me to be. So, so yeah, that's where I'm at. So now we've got our topic of the show, as we were saying earlier, the discussion is going to be a little bit more loose than it usually is. So, let's just start talking about Caleb and the fact that he just found out that he's a nerd. So what are the things that you actually like that you now see as, oh, that makes me a nerd?
Well, I in my spare time, I have a tendency to like if I see something cool in a movie or video game, whether it's a weapon or some kind of trinket or device, I always thought it would be cool to have that. So I'll go down to the basement and I'll just get some scrap stuff, and I'll just throw it together and paint it up and sand it and make it look nice, and I'll have a scaled replica of something in the film. So I like to do a lot of prop making.
Oh, okay.
And even
That's
add
awesome.
lights and make things move.
Yeah.
I like doing that kind of stuff.
Huh. Didn't know that about you.
Yep. Also, I'd have to say most of my costumes throughout the years have been homemade. I'd have to say my first cosplay would have been like Larry Boy from VeggieTales.
Oh, really?
Oh, my
Homemade
goodness.
costume, baby.
Wow.
Oh, my
when
goodness.
did you do that?
I didn't make it. That was something my parents had put together. I was too young to do that stuff. But my first one that I made myself was Link from The Legend of Zelda.
Awesome.
Made myself a Deku shield and everything.
Wow.
It was great.
Yeah,
and,
that sounds great.
Then I also made what I called the Sonic Cyberman, which was like a white and blue Cyberman suit out of cardboard and just plastic and all kinds of
Doctor
things.
Who Cybermen?
Yeah, Doctor Who Cyberman, but it's a Sonic Cyberman.
So Sonic the Hedgehog?
No, Sonic technology.
Oh, Sonic technology. Okay.
Like a Sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like an anti...
Well, you said white and blue, so I was thinking
yeah, you could get that.
yeah.
Sonic doesn't have anything to do with white, man.
His
he's
shoes and his
Red.
socks. His shoes are red and white, though.
Bleh, whatever. Anyway, we're not talking about Sonic. We're talking about...
We're talking about
Sonic technology.
Sonic technology.
Yeah, okay.
I thought that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah. So yeah, you're into cosplay, prop design, video games, movies.
Oh yeah, I like
weaponry.
Weaponry, yeah, that's fun to go and spend a few mags at the range.
yeah.
Dropping
And you
rounds.
mentioned scripture memorization. You know a lot of information.
I do know a lot of information, the exact reference, like the numbers to the verse. I've yet to memorize those, but scripture is my guide to everything. What's taught in the classroom, if it doesn't line up with scripture, I look deeper into it. If I have any questions, I look to scripture. If I'm going through something, scripture is my pivotal point. That's my guide. And where that book, the writings of that book, cost so much silver and bloodshed over the years, rather than let it collect dust, I figure it's only proper as a believer to use it as such.
Excellent. Yeah, definitely. That's something we should all be doing. Yeah. So why didn't you realize that you were a nerd before now?
Okay, this is gonna sound funny, but because I collect a lot of like swords, and I've got my firearms license now, so I collect guns, restricted, non-restricted. That's the kind of stuff I'm into. So I thought it was really BA. For those of you in the theology department, you've heard me say it before. That's short for something I'm not going to say live. But for others, I guess you could say maybe bad donkey. In the Bible, donkey's translated as something else. So I'll let you figure it out. The
A-team.
Hey, that's BA enough for me. So I thought I was the A-team.
Yeah.
That, and I don't know. Most of the stuff that, I guess made me a nerd, the prop making and the costumes and stuff, aside from occasions like Halloween and stuff, it never really left the basement. It just kind of sat there on a shelf and on the walls and stuff. Just kind of hung up. I don't know, people just didn't really know about it. I guess my family knew about it, some of my friends maybe, but I never considered myself a nerd. I just thought I was
it was just normal.
It was just normal to me.
Yeah. I think that's a point where we all have been, where it's just, that's just, everybody likes this stuff. You know, what are you talking about? Everybody loves Star Wars. Everybody loves playing video games.
Yeah.
True that.
Yeah. So it makes sense. Yeah. So what would you say is your favorite cosplay?
My favorite cosplay.
Yeah.
Wow. There are so many.
Oh, really?
I mean, there's not a lot of anime I'm familiar with yet. I've just gotten into Ruby and Full Metal Alchemist.
Well, I mean that you've done.
That I've done?
Yeah, your favorite cosplay that you've done personally.
Wow. I'd have to say, I mean, my Link costume could use a bit of tweaking, but I think my favorite one so far is the Terminator.
Oh,
Many of you saw that this Halloween.
Yeah.
I just kind of, like, leather jacket, black pants, smashed up face, metal exposed. Like, I like doing that stuff. I also like doing visual effects, so that's probably my favorite one, the Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite, Gwen?
I have... Probably one of my favorites is a couple years ago I made a cosplay of Mei Rin from Black Butler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
I did that. I made that from bed sheets.
Wow.
And I actually did a photo shoot over the summer before I came here for my freshman year. That's probably one of my favorites.
Wow.
I think
that's really awesome. I've actually watched Black Butler, so I know exactly what.
Yeah,
you're
that's
talking
why
about.
that's why I looked at you. I'm like, because
yeah.
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I definitely know exactly what you're talking about.
I had the glasses and everything.
Oh
and
boy!
When I made when I premiered the costume at a Halloween party, I did the Mei Rin voice and everything.
Oh boy!
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I actually this will be a little bit interesting. I've actually only done one cosplay, which is unfortunate, and I'd like to do more. I went to a convention a couple summers ago with some friends, and it wasn't even like anything that you'd be able to identify. It was I basically just put together this like post-apocalyptic bandit type outfit.
Sweet.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. So I had like a cowboy hat, I had a bandana, I had this trench coat, this big heavy trench coat. It was like real leather and everything. I had 2 gas masks actually, which was really no, I had a gas mask and some goggles, which were like very steampunky. And yeah, I just kind of threw a whole bunch of stuff together to see what would stick, and it worked. It was fun. It was kind of depressing because one of my other friends dressed up as Deathstroke. So everyone was asking to take pictures with him.
I once helped someone with their Deathstroke costume before.
Yeah.
Yeah, they needed a helmet, so I got the measurements for their face and stuff, and it was beautiful.
Oh, yeah. My friend, he basically made it out of, like... It wasn't exactly papier-mâché, but it was kind of papier-mâché-ish.
Who is this friend of yours? I'm wondering.
Oh, it's a friend from back home in New York, you probably...
Probably not.
But it was like... It wasn't exactly papier-mâché. It was kind of like a hodgepodge type stuff. It was like a...
Kind of like fiberglass, or...
Yeah, like a fiberglass type clay like stuff that he used to like mold. I think he did
Plaster of Paris. I bet you that's what he used.
Probably something like that. I don't know. Yeah,
thing like that.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was really cool, and yeah. So everyone wanted to take pictures with him, and no one wanted to take pictures with me. Actually, I think I did get one person asked me to take pictures with them, but then I had another friend who was. I think that was the day he was dressed up as Cusco. So everyone wanted to take pictures.
Group?
Yes, from Emperor's New Group.
Goodness.
So everyone was taking.
Thunder.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Oh man, that's rough.
Yeah.
Did you do the dance? Did you do the groove?
I don't know.
If you didn't do the groove, then it's not legitimate.
Yeah.
It's not a good costume unless you do the groove.
It's true. It's true. Favorite video games. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay. My favorite video game is it's been since it came out in 2003. It's Halo. I've got the entire Halo series, minus the DLCs.
Yeah.
But, yeah, everything from Halo Reach to Halo 5, and everything in between. If you're going by chronological order, which is what I'm going by, like, even before that Halo, I've got, like, every game, and that's basically all I play on Xbox. I've tried Call of Duty, but I just can't get into it.
Yeah.
Second from that is Dead Space, and under that is Titanfall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry.
It's alright.
Gwen, do you have a one or a top 3 like Caleb?
I don't know. Resident Evil is probably on my top 3 for me.
Like the series?
The series.
Okay.
Like, I actually was playing Resident Evil a little bit over the break.
Oh, nice.
I played it a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
when Caleb was sleeping.
I was gonna say, did you get him to play any Assassin's Creed like you were planning to?
Oh yeah, no, I didn't. I
that's
decided
unfortunate.
that I would be nice to him to this break. I was making him watch Star Wars. I won't make him play Assassin's Creed yet.
Yet. Keyword.
I will get my hands on you, dearie. No. That's another game that's probably on my top list. Is Assassin's Creed, mostly because of all the history. Oh my goodness, Pokemon. Pokemon's always been on my top.
Gotta catch 'em all.
I couldn't tell from your blouse that you're wearing.
I'm wearing my
Charizard.
Pokemon pullover. Yeah. And also, this is a little bit more obscure, but the Luminous Arc series by Atlas.
Okay.
It's kind of like a visual novel type game. For the DS. It's an older series.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. I feel like I might have heard of it.
It's really good. it's one that that's been on and off, become my obsession. Like, I have the art book and everything for it. The only game I have the art book for. It's really good.
Yeah, I can't remember if we've actually talked on the show or not. We might not have, but for anyone who doesn't know me, I am huge into Sony and PlayStation. So basically for me, any Sony and PlayStation exclusive game is one of my favorites. You know, you got Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Crash Bandicoot. Kind of ish, not as much. Spyro the Dragon.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. But I do like a little bit of Nintendo too. I don't think I had a Nintendo system, like, besides the handheld, until I got a Wii a few, like, probably 100 Christmases ago.
Wow, you're that old.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
Well, the Wii's that old. But as soon as I did get a Wii, I got Twilight Princess because I wanted to play a Legend of Zelda game because I had heard so much about them.
So good, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my childhood.
Oh yeah. I wish it had been mine. I wish I had gotten to play more Zelda on like the 64 and stuff. I actually got when I got a 3DS, I got the HD remaster of Ocarina of Time. So I've played that. But I haven't played Majora's Mask yet, and I really want to. I've heard that's like the best game of the series. So
it's a good one.
Yeah. So hopefully, eventually, I'll probably end up getting that and being able to get some gaming in. It's been a while. Looks like that's just about all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for listening to us, and just remember to please follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/CNBCS podcast, Twitter at CNBCS podcast, and Instagram. If you don't already follow us, and if you do that, you can leave your comments, your thoughts, your opinions, and they might even end up on the show. Again, this podcast is not a product of Kingswood University. It is an independent project coming from the students as we finish our education to work to become leaders in the church. Next week, we'll have another topic, someone else to talk to, and all that fun stuff. Until then, I'm Luc Reed.
I'm Gwen Smith.
And I'm Caleb Lane.
And this is CNBCS. Stay nerdy, dive into the Word, and have a blessed week.